Moving on from question 8 of logical reasoning drill set number 6 over at lawhub.lsac.org, we've got the highlight tool as always, and we're going to read the question stem to identify and mark what the task is first. Number 9 reads, which one of the following, if true, most weakens the entrepreneur's argument? So we've got an entrepreneur on the left-hand side. We're going to read the entrepreneur's argument. And if it's an in real life situation, we might want to come up with a prediction so that we can more expediently work through our answer choices as well. So starting from the top of the entrepreneur statements, which read, recently, a small piece of moon rock that fell to Earth as a meteorite was auctioned off for more than $200,000 a gram. At that price, mining moon rock directly would make a huge profit, even given the expected cost of space travel and mining on the moon. Thus, the Moonmine Corporation would be extremely profitable if its goal of establishing a mine on the moon were achieved, and hopefully you can identify the conclusion almost immediately. It's this final statement from the entrepreneur. But I would argue that this is a relatively accessible in real life situation. And there are some basic tenets of global knowledge that you may need to apply. And basic economic theory, supply and demand, might be that kind of thing that you can apply here because we got this small piece of moon rock that fell to Earth and it cost or fetched a price of $200,000 a gram. But if this entrepreneur is mining moon rock, well, now we've got a much bigger supply of moon rock. So we should have a mental prediction of actually, what if the demand goes down when the supply goes up, because that's a basic tenet of economics. So we should have that in mind as a mental prediction before we go to the answer choices with our highlight tool still selected to identify reasons to eliminate that don't match that prediction. Thank you for watching this explanation video of logical reasoning drill set number 6 over lawhub.lsac.org. If you enjoy the tips it contains, please consider liking the video and subscribing to MyGuru's channel to be alerted when new explanation videos are released by MyGuru. Also, check out the description below because within it you'll find links to additional resources from MyGuru and additional full prep test sets of video explanations. In the meantime, let's get back to this video explanation. So, starting with choice A, the larger a given piece of moon rock is, the more likely it is to fall to Earth as a meteorite. Well, that certainly doesn't match our mental prediction about supply and demand. And larger, more likely, these are incredibly vague. There are a couple of reasons we should be able to eliminate A, and we move on to B. Then choice B, the Moonmine Corporation lacks the equipment, funding, and expertise necessary to establish a mine on the moon and has little prospect of ever obtaining them. Well, we've granted in the entrepreneur's conclusion that the goal is achieved. So whether it lacks the equipment, funding, and expertise now and has little prospect of ever obtaining it isn't actually relevant to this argument because this argument grants that the conclusion is viable only if they were able to accomplish it. So whether or not it's a viable or a likely outcome isn't relevant to the conclusion and isn't, again, matching our predicted way to weaken, which is this idea of supply versus demand. Then choice C, no corporation or individual has ever made any profit by mining or otherwise removing any quantity of moon rock from the moon. Okay, so it hasn't happened before. Well, you may have heard at some point in your life watching some sort of investment commercial, past performance is not indicative of future results. So what no corporation or individual has done to date does not actually clearly affect the entrepreneur's argument. Of course, it also doesn't match our mental prediction regarding supply and demand, so we can eliminate C for that reason. Then choice D, people who are willing to pay high prices for pieces of moon rock value moon rock only because extremely little moon rock is owned by anyone on Earth. Well, ding, 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 this is exactly the supply and demand concept that we mentally predicted. And so we've got that, pay high prices for pieces of moon rock only because it is extremely rare. So that is matching our prediction. So we should be able to proactively select D at this point. But for the purposes of this video, we'll take a look at choice E and find reason to eliminate it as well. The costs of space travel and mining on the moon per gram of moon rock brought to Earth depend largely on how much moon rock is obtained in this way. Okay, depend largely. I have no idea. This couldn't be much more vague if it tried. And of course, we've hopefully already selected D for matching our prediction a little while ago.